Have you ever wondered about Robert Kennedy Jr., the man who seems to defy conventional narratives? This enigma, born in 1954, hails from the illustrious Kennedy lineage, a family that has etched its name in the annals of American politics. Robert Kennedy Jr. is a figure who stirs up a whirlwind of emotions ranging from admiration to skepticism, depending on who you ask. To some, he's a beacon of hope, a crusader for environmental rights, and a passionate advocate for the voiceless. To others, he's a controversial figure, often criticized for his staunch anti-vaccine stance, a viewpoint that has earned him the label of a kook by critics. The American establishment government, too, seems to echo these sentiments, further deepening the divide in public opinion. So who really is Robert Kennedy Jr.? Is he a misunderstood maverick? Or is he as eccentric as the critics claim? Let's unravel this mystery. Born into the famous Kennedy family, Robert's early years were anything but ordinary. He was born Robert Francis Kennedy Jr., named after his father, Robert Francis Kennedy, a man who left an indelible mark on American politics. His father's political career included serving as Attorney General and later as a senator for New York. Robert Jr.'s life was irrevocably altered when his father was assassinated in 1968, a tragedy that struck the nation. The Kennedy family, renowned for their political lineage, was not just a family, but a symbol of American power and prestige. Growing up as a Kennedy meant growing up in the public eye, under the weight of great expectations. His mother, Ethel Skakel Kennedy, a human rights advocate, was a beacon of strength and resilience, raising 11 children in the wake of her husband's untimely death. Robert Jr.'s childhood was steeped in the ethos of public service, a legacy handed down from his family. The dinner table conversations at the Kennedy household were often about civil rights, social justice, and the role of government in shaping a fair and equitable society. These discussions, coupled with the larger-than-life legacy of his family, had a profound impact on Robert Jr.'s worldview. His upbringing was not without its challenges. The burden of his family name, the pressure to live up to the Kennedy legacy, and the personal tragedies he faced all played a part in shaping his character. However, it was these very challenges that instilled in him a deep sense of empathy and a relentless drive to fight for what he believes in. Robert Jr.'s education was another influential aspect of his early life. He attended Harvard, one of the most prestigious universities in the world, followed by a law degree from the University of Virginia. This rigorous academic background provided him with a solid foundation for his future career. These formative years played a significant role in shaping the man Robert Kennedy Jr. would become. His family legacy, his childhood experiences, and his education were all crucial in molding him into a fierce advocate and a relentless crusader for the causes he holds dear. Robert's educational journey and career choices often took the road less traveled. Born into the famed Kennedy clan, he could have easily chosen a straightforward path to political power. But Robert chose to carve out his own journey, one that blended his passion for the law with a deep concern for our planet's health. Robert's academic journey began at Harvard University, an institution renowned for molding the minds of future leaders. Here, he majored in history and had his first brush with the law. But his academic voyage was far from over. He later attended Pace University School of Law, where he specialized in environmental law. This was a field not typically associated with power and prestige, but it was here that Robert found his true calling. His career reflects the same unconventional choices. Robert emerged not as a traditional politician, but as an environmental activist and a legal advocate. He became a staunch defender of our planet, fighting for clean water, battling against polluters, and advocating for sustainable practices. His work in this field has been both commendable and controversial. Robert's career is marked by his relentless pursuit of truth, even when it leads him down paths less traveled. One such path has been his skepticism about vaccines. This stance has stirred up a whirlwind of controversy. Critics label him an anti-vaxxer, a term loaded with negative connotations. But Robert's position is nuanced. He questions not the concept of vaccines, but the lack of transparency and accountability in the pharmaceutical industry. It's worth noting that Robert's skepticism isn't rooted in denial or ignorance, but in a deep-seated belief in the public's right to know. This has often put him at odds with mainstream narratives. His critics view him as a troublemaker, while his supporters see him as a brave truth-teller. Robert's unconventional career choices and beliefs have often put him at odds with mainstream narratives. But whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that Robert Kennedy Jr. has chosen a path less traveled, one that has led him to challenge the status quo and fight for what he believes in. Despite being labeled as a kook and an anti-vaxxer, Robert took the bold step of running for president. He didn't shy away from controversy, Instead, he embraced it as a means to provoke dialogue and challenge the status quo. His campaign platform was built on a foundation of environmental justice, public health reform, and a fierce critique of corporate influence in politics. Robert believed in the power of change, in policies that would reorient the balance of power towards the people. His environmental stance promised to address climate change head-on, a move praised by environmentalists but criticized by industrial lobbyists. His public health reform aimed to increase transparency and accountability in the pharmaceutical sector, a policy that sparked heated debates. Critics argue that his bold proposals are unrealistic, while supporters see him as a beacon of hope, a leader unafraid to take on formidable opponents. Robert's presidential run is yet another testament to his willingness to challenge the establishment. Robert Kennedy Jr., a controversial figure, an environmental activist, a legal advocate, and now a presidential candidate. This man, born into a family of political giants, has walked a path of his own, shaped by his upbringing, education, and personal convictions. From a young age, he was exposed to the world of politics, which instilled in him a sense of duty and a desire to make a difference. His education in law and environmental studies laid the foundation for his career as a legal advocate, fighting for environmental justice. Yet his outspoken views on vaccination have led many to label him an anti-vaxxer, a term he denies, and a narrative that the American establishment seems to agree with. Today, he steps into the political arena with a presidential bid, running on policies centered around environmental protection and health freedom. Regardless of public opinion, Robert Kennedy Jr. remains a man not afraid to challenge the status quo and stand up for his beliefs.